Holy crap, it's hot outside. Hi, this is part 5 of the Anime Stadium tutorial. Sorry it took so long. I've been busy with work and school, and I wanted to get some battle videos with Kerbeus and Dragon up. Anyway, part 5 of this bad boy, we will be putting on the walls. Let's start that. Okay, so for this step, you will need a cardboard box or just cardboard. I chose this one because it's long and will help with the step. It will be easier because I'm just making a bunch of long cardboard strips anyways. 3 different types of tape, silver, dark blue, and light blue or white. You'll see in a minute. And then, of course, a box cutter. What's it called? A ruler. Boy, this one's really flexy. It's so hot, it's like melting it. And there goes my pencil. And some LED light strips. Okay, so first you're just gonna wanna cut out some decent sized strips of cardboard. So let's just do that first. Oh, before we continue, I forgot that we will also need a hot glue gun eventually. Sorry. But anyway, so now that we have our cardboard pieces, 3 of roughly this size should be good. They're not the most straight. I mean, what crap is that? But yeah, so let's trace some lines and then cut them out. Okay, so I have chosen to make the walls on my previous stadiums about 3.5 to 4 inches tall. I didn't really like accommodate making multiple, so I just kind of went, oh yeah, that looks good. But for this one, I will be doing 3.5. Boy, that bird is annoying. Shut up. Anyway. Holy crap. You can make them a little shorter, a little taller. Really depends. If you want them a little shorter, the bays might fly out easier. Because when they're about 3.5 to 4 inches tall, my God, I'm going to shoot that thing. Okay, I think the bird is finally done. I know with editing, it'll just seem like that, but for me, I've been sitting here for like 15 minutes waiting for it to shut up. Anyway, so I've traced it to 3.5 right there. Now, all we gotta do, actually, I'll do a couple more lines of 3.5, you know, all the way down, so then I can connect them and just make a straight line across like this. Oh yeah, look at me being smart. Boom. And now you could just cut out chunks like that if you wanted. I prefer to just make a lot of things about this size, all the way down like that. And then you just do that all the way across and cut it out, and then cut them into sections. You'll see. Okay, so as you can see, I have finished cutting it out, cut it into 3 separate pieces, and then I have this piece left over, and you actually will want to save this piece because we will need to make more separate, skinnier pieces of cardboard to go on top of this. But yeah, so just do this to the other 3 pieces, the other 2 pieces of cardboard that you have. You might need to do more than 3 strips. I might need to do more than 3 strips, but anyway, yeah. All right, now that you have all of those cut out, what the heck are you? Get out of here. Now that you have all these cardboard bits cut out, it's time to glue them on and cover them in duct tape. I know, so fun. Today in preschool arts and crafts, What am I even saying anymore? I don't know. Alright, so you take your glue gun. Yep. And then you put glue on the edge here, kind of like what we did when we were making the cage for the stadium. My goodness, my glue gun is sucking right now. Might be too hot outside, but it's not even like freaking working. Although that doesn't make any sense. But then you put it right here on the edge of the tape. Oh, frick, I did that wrong. I forgot. Okay, so there's a little hole right here, right? And that will be to house the controls for the lights. So you will want to leave a little bit right there. So don't glue it to where your whole thing is blocking a hole. You want to cut one out. Just start like at the edge of it. Is what I'm trying to say. My brain is not working. It's too hot outside. I'm sorry. And so, now you have this on. You can go back around and put glue all in here. Hopefully reinforce it. But then you just do that all the way around. Just kind of pre-bend it a little bit so it can curve. And then you just glue it on. And then I will glue the back of this. You don't have to worry about what the back of it looks like because it will all just, what's it called? Get covered up. So yeah, now that that's drying on there, you could put tape on it like this after you put on each piece. I am not going to do that though. I feel like that'll just slow down the process, but it might look a bit nicer. But you just glue all these bits on all the way around until you get back to this piece you want to cut off right around here. Okay, so I'll be back when that is done. Okay, so I think I have miscalculated something. So as you can see on this stadium, Bell's Stadium, the walls here connect to the outer caging of the stadium pretty well. There isn't much of like an angle, but on this one I think I made the walls too tall because that would be a very steep slope, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be pretty shallow. So I think I'm going to have to cut down the walls about 1/2 inch because I think I mismeasured on this. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but part of the process, I guess. All right, let's do that. I have cut them down about 1 inch, which is actually a little bit shorter than I would have preferred, but it's definitely better than having it too steep because I can adjust it easier to be a bit taller than if it were too tall. Does that make sense? I don't know. But now, the next step is to put on gray duct tape. Gray duct tape all the way around all these walls. You could actually possibly use dark gray duct tape, but that is actually pretty hard to find. I couldn't even find like dark gray duct tape brand tape. Like I had to find this T-Rex tape, which is what I used for the standard Dynamite Stadium. But it is actually really thick and pretty expensive. You definitely don't get as much for this. I mean, you don't get as much tape for the amount that you're paying. It's really overpriced. But if you really want to, you could use that. It'd be a bit more accurate. But I'm just going to use gray duct tape. And basically, you just stick it on like that. You could probably barely see what I was doing. I'm sorry. There you go. Just go all the way around, taking little strips and placing it on. You want to try to cover up the glue and little bits of black here as well. And you could put multiple layers because you can kind of see that the gray duct tape is pretty thin and see-through. So I recommend doing a couple, like at least 2 layers of duct tape all the way around. But start with the bottom and do the top. Layer 1, done. Now for round 2. All right, so once you have put on both layers of duct tape on the walls, it's time to make the part for the lights. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I have a bunch of smaller cardboard strips, slabs, whatever you call them. I have made them about 1.5 inches thick. The length doesn't really matter because you're just putting them all the way around the gray walls that we just added on. Basically do the same thing. You just cut out enough until you have enough to wrap all the way around the stadium. However, these ones you will want to cover with a layer of dark blue duct tape before you glue them on. So that's pretty simple. So let's just do that, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Boom, now it's blue. And then you just do that to all of them. Okay, so once you have a good amount of them covered in tape, it's pretty simple. You just bend it a bit first, right? Like we did with these walls. And then you take your glue gun, put a bunch of glue on the back of it. Start over at this edge and try to get it as much in the middle of the silver wall as possible. And then you do that all the way around. Not much to it. Now that you have these blue strips on, this next part will be a little tricky. We are putting on the light strips. Yeah, isn't that fun? So, what I have done is I have pre-marked these, and that hole in the back is meant to house this thing, which is the receptor, so the lights can communicate and understand when I turn it on, you know? So I have hidden it away back there. For your own stadium, it might be different. You might need to fiddle around with it a bit, but yeah. So I'm just going to stick these on all the way around. They do have an adhesive side, but what will probably end up happening is that you will need to stick tape on to help keep them on there, because they are pretty cheap lights unless you use really expensive lights, although I don't see why you would. But yeah, so just do that. All right. So I've applied the lights all the way around, just in the middle of the blue section. And once you get to here, you can just snip it off again. The brand of lights that I have a specific spot that'll show you where to cut them off, which I recommend doing. Definitely don't cut them while they're plugged in. That is a very bad idea and would probably result in you getting electrocuted. Look at this, I got a bunch of blue gunk. But yeah, so the lights are on. Now we need to do a proper detailing and cover them up, because obviously the stadium does not have a full ring of lights around it. Although that would be much cooler than what we're going to do, but it is not anime accurate. Wow. So, as you can see, I've plugged them into this portable power bank, and they are turned on right now. So the color I will be using for the stadium is the light blue right here, because that is the color the lights in the anime are. So we'll be using this light blue duct tape to make the detailing. But you'll also need black duct tape to cover up the spots with lights that we will not be using. And I will basically just cut to what that looks like so you don't have to watch me just tape a bunch of stuff, because that'd be really boring, and I'm sure this video is already going to be pretty long as is. So yeah. Okay, so I have ripped a piece of duct tape in half, like this way. It's only a few inches long. It doesn't really matter. Size doesn't matter, guys, okay? But anyway, these will be the cover for the lights. You will want them to be in the middle of these two red lines in every corner. So they should cover like 3 or 4 lights, like that. Yeah. You can use white duct tape instead, so you can have like any color, but I want it so that even when the lights are off, it still has the blue that it's supposed to. And actually, I think I'm going to make these a bit longer, possibly. Make these strips a bit longer, maybe to go out to here. We actually need to fill this thing in. I'll show you how to do that. So all you have to do to fill in this gap is cut out little pieces wrapped in silver duct tape and just glue them in behind it, so then it makes one solid wall. And then fill in these spots missing here. Try not to cover up the lights until you've done this blue detailing yet. And then just, yeah, cover this with blue so then it all just looks like one smooth continuous thing. Like I said, take thin little bits and cover it up. Ouchie. Oh man, that looks awful. Sorry that was off track. Let's do the actual thing now. Okay, so I got it. I was a little confused because on my last stadiums, I have 4 lights instead of 3, but the way that I positioned these lights is that there's only 3, and so I was like, oh wait, it's not long enough, but no, it's actually the same size. Anyway, so I put them all around using 3 lights. For you guys, it might be 4, which honestly looks better than 3, but I have it all the way around. Now, we need to put on some extra layers of tape in the spots that we are not having lights, so we only want lights in these blue areas, okay? So I'm going to be putting some black over these lights. You couldn't even see what I did. Like black tape over these lights to help block it out, and then we're going to cover that with dark blue, okay? So I would put all the black on the spots of the lights that we are not going to use, and it actually worked really well. I'm not able to see any light shining through the black duct tape, and only through this light blue tape. Now you could technically probably use like purple or dark blue tape, but it's still more see-through than black, so you'd have to do multiple layers. But I mean, this is just 1 layer of black, and then we're going to cover it all with dark blue, and you're going to want to leave a thin amount of the blue still showing. Here, I'll show you on the other stadium. Yeah, so on here, so this white piece is where the lights are in Bell's stadium. So we're going to want to leave about this much space on the blue tape, which is about the width of the lights. This was actually my first time putting lights in the stadium, which is why this tape job looks pretty crappy. Hopefully the next one is better. But yeah, so you just do all that, and everywhere you see red, basically you just want to do dark blue on this one. All right? Cool. Why did that look like I pointed? That was a thumbs up. Cool. All right, so I have gotten all the blue tape on. Now we are going to fill in this gap between this wall and this wall. But first I'm going to cover this up with a piece of cardboard that I cut out. Glue that back on in there. Okay, so to fill in the gaps here, we will just be taking a lot of tiny little cardboard pieces and gluing them on like that, all the way around. Yay. Alright, so once you've done all of that, you only need to place them a little bit apart, because now we get to cover them all with duct tape. Just regular gray silver. Yay. And you might need to do a couple layers. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this. Well, the silver is on. And yeah, so I've done a couple layers. We got the lights in. Boy, this video took forever. Next video, hopefully will be the last part, and we will be putting on those side like triangle things and all the stuff in the between and that side detailing right there. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm going to end it off. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if it's a bit confusing. It's really hot. My brain is kind of dead right now, and it's day 2 of trying to make this because it's freaking hot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Jake out.